What's up everybody? Welcome back to the Nightmare. My name is Moors and today we're jumping back into Damnation because I've made some major progress on the combat, exploration, enemies, camera movement, and the overall atmosphere of the game. The axe has evolved from a basic melee weapon into one of the most important tools in the entire game. I now have 3 different enemy variants called the Remnants. I completely updated the camera movement, and I've been working on tying all of these systems directly into the story. Before we get into everything, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to follow the development of Damnation, see more tutorials, and watch me slowly sacrifice my remaining sanity to Unreal Engine. Now, let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the axe. A major inspiration behind Damnation is Resident Evil 7. And one of the smaller details I always loved was the way the axe could become embedded in the environment. It gave the weapon an extra sense of weight. You weren't just playing an attack animation and watching the axe pass through everything. It actually looked like the blade was making contact with the world. That detail stuck with me, so I wanted to create my own version of that system for Damnation. When the player swings the axe into certain surfaces, it gets stuck. The weapon doesn't immediately snap back into position. You have to physically pull it out of the wall before you can swing again. It may sound like a small visual detail, but it has a huge effect on how the weapon feels. The axe feels heavier, every impact feels more physical, and missing an attack now has an actual consequence. You could have a Remnant charging toward you, swing too early, and bury the axe into the wall beside its head. Now you're trying to rip your weapon free while this thing is still coming directly toward you. At that point, the wall has officially joined the enemy team. I decided not to make the axe stick inside enemies because I still want successful attacks to flow smoothly. I don't want every hit to stop the fight or force the player through the same recovery animation. Instead, the system punishes careless swings and makes the player more aware of their surroundings. But the idea didn't stop with the axe getting stuck. Once I started making the weapon interact with the environment, I realized it could become much more than a melee weapon. The axe can now destroy crates, wooden doors, barricades, boarded openings, and almost any other wooden object blocking the player's path. Some crates will contain resources. Some barricades will hide optional areas. Some doors will create shortcuts through the building. And some barriers are keeping things locked away for a very good reason. The original idea of the axe becoming embedded in the environment came from Resident Evil 7, but I wanted to expand that concept and make the weapon an essential part of exploration. Instead of carrying an axe that is only useful whenever an enemy appears, you are constantly using it to interact with the building. You aren't always looking for a key or waiting for an interaction prompt. Sometimes you have to physically break your way through. That also means the changes you make to the environment are permanent. Once you destroy a door, it's gone. Once you remove a barricade, you can't place it back. You've opened that part of the building for the rest of the game. That path may make exploration easier, but it can also make the level more dangerous. You aren't only creating a route for yourself. You may be creating a route for the Remnants as well. A room that was previously sealed is now connected to the hallway. A shortcut that saves you time may also allow an enemy to follow you. Every time you destroy something, you are changing how you and the creatures can move through the building. The safe rooms. This destruction system became especially important when I started designing the safe rooms. When you first discover a safe room in Damnation, it has been completely sealed off. There may be wooden boards covering an exit, furniture blocking an opening, or a damaged door separating you from the next area. Inside the room, you can save the game, collect supplies, upgrade your weapons, and finally stop listening for something breathing behind you. For a moment, you're safe, but eventually you have to continue. And to leave the room, you have to destroy part of the barricade from the inside. You are the person destroying the thing protecting you. The game doesn't automatically unlock the exit. You choose to tear it down because moving forward is the only option. Once that barricade is destroyed, the room changes. The exit remains permanently open. Flies begin gathering around the light. The atmosphere shifts. And even though the room was safe when you first entered it, it no longer feels completely protected. I chose this because I don't want safe rooms to feel disconnected from the world. I don't want them to be magical spaces where every creature suddenly agrees to respect the rules. They are safe because someone sealed them. Once you break that seal, the building begins creeping back inside. Safety in Damnation is temporary. You can stop, save, and prepare, but eventually, you have to be the one who opens the nightmare again. Every remnant is directly connected to the story. They represent the family members lost by the main antagonist, who for now we'll simply call the Masked Man. The Masked Man lost his family in a fire. Rather than accepting that loss, he became obsessed with finding a way to bring them back. The remnants are what remains of those attempts. They are broken recreations of the people he lost, created through rituals, experiments, and other human bodies. Each variant also creates a completely different type of encounter. One of my biggest inspirations for the visual style is The Evil Within. That game has this dirty, damaged appearance. The shadows are heavy, the colors feel sick, and even ordinary environments look contaminated by whatever happened there. That is the atmosphere I want for Damnation. I'm using dark reds, dirty browns, rust, black, gray, and stained off-whites. Most of the colors are heavily desaturated, so blood, warning lights, and certain environmental details stand out. I don't want this building to look like a normal abandoned location. I want it to feel modified. Walls have been destroyed and patched with wooden boards. Doors have been replaced. Rooms have been sealed. Barricades cover openings that were never meant to exist. It should feel like the Masked Man has spent years slowly rebuilding the place around his experiments. Nothing is clean. Nothing fits properly. Every repair looks like it was made by someone who no longer remembers what a normal home is supposed to feel like. Damnation takes a lot of inspiration from Silent Hill. What I love about Silent Hill is that the monsters, environments, and events usually represent something deeper. They connect to grief, guilt, trauma, punishment, and the parts of a character they refuse to confront. I wanted to take that style of psychological horror and give it a different twist. Damnation follows Thorn after he receives a message from his missing wife, Clara. The message leads him to this building, where he begins uncovering evidence that the Masked Man has been watching him for much longer than he realized. At first, it may look like Thorn has entered his own psychological nightmare. The player may assume the monsters represent his memories, guilt, or something terrible he did in the past. But the remnants don't belong to Thorn. They belong to the Masked Man. The creatures represent the family he lost in the fire. They are his memories, grief, and obsession given physical bodies. But Thorn is the one being forced to experience them. That is the twist. Thorn isn't trapped inside his own personal hell. He has been dragged into someone else's. The Masked Man has spent years trying to restore his family through rituals, experiments, and human vessels. But instead of bringing them back, he created distorted versions of what he remembers. The remnants are not truly his family. They are fragments, pieces of memories forced into bodies that were never meant to contain them. The deeper Thorn travels through the building, the more his own memories begin mixing with those of the Masked Man. The player will eventually begin questioning what belongs to Thorn, what belongs to the Masked Man, and whether Clara is actually somewhere inside the building, or whether something is simply using her voice to pull Thorn deeper. That is where Damnation currently stands, an axe mechanic inspired by Resident Evil 7 has grown into a complete system for combat, destruction, exploration, and traversal. The safe rooms now change as you move through the game, the remnants are becoming more varied, with each one introducing a completely different threat, the new camera makes movement feel smoother and more physical, the color grading is finally getting closer to that filthy early 2000s horror look I've been chasing. And the story is beginning to connect directly with the enemies, environments, and mechanics. There is still a lot left to build, but Damnation is finally starting to feel less like a collection of separate systems and more like a complete nightmare. And honestly, I'm extremely excited about what comes next. Let me know in the comments which remnant you think would be the most dangerous to encounter. The crawler, the walker, or the one that can incinerate you with light. And since the light-based remnant still needs a name, leave your suggestions down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more Damnation updates, tutorials, and behind-the-scenes game development. My name is Moors, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next nightmare.